I'm just going to show you how to make your SIM card into a micro SIM card. There's several videos on the internet how to do this, but they all tend to be using scissors, and it's not advisable to use scissors. A normal SIM card measures 15 millimeters. I'm starting off with the number 1 on here because it's not clear where 0 is, by 25 millimeters. And you want your micro SIM card to be 12 by 15 millimeters. But you also want the contact, the metal bit, to be as central as possible. So I'm just going to score out the center marks of the 15 millimeters there to make that SIM card, the actual contact bit, as central as possible within the 15 millimeters. I'm going to do the same here to make it 12 millimeters. So I'm going to put 2 millimeters either side because it's about 8 millimeters for the actual contact. Advise you to have a ruler with a metal edge, so you don't cut through your plastic ruler, a cutting mat or something that you can cut on without damaging your surface, and a craft knife, or a Stanley knife, or a scalpel. Just basically score out the marks where you need to cut your 50 millimeters length. So I'm just going to make sure I get it in the right place, and then all you need to do is score it as smoothly as possible. It might be a bit fiddly for me at the moment because I'm trying to work over a camera. So you score that through. You don't have to go right through because it should just snap. This is the first time I've done it with a craft knife, by the way. I have tried it with scissors before, and it didn't work. I didn't actually touch the contact with the scissors, but whether it twists the contact as you're cutting through, that might be another reason why it does it. The reason why people are cutting up their SIM cards, by the way, is because some providers will not give you a micro SIM card because they know you're going to be using an iPhone. It's strange but true. So this is why people are cutting up their SIM cards for micro SIM cards. So as you can just score it through and it should just snap off. Some edges are a bit more fiddly than others, especially when you've got hands as big as mine. And just cut off the other end of this so that contact is as central as possible. You probably want to have a look at your iPhone SIM holder first to make sure that the contact should be central, because some might have a bigger left edge than a right edge or something like that. I know mine's pretty central, having briefly looked at it. I've only just got my iPhone today, by the way, and I know it needed a micro SIM. And I had an old SIM card which I tried and it didn't work, as I said, because I used scissors. I didn't cut through the metal contact, but I don't know what happened. I think as you cut through with scissors, it twists the plastic a little bit, and that's why I'm using a craft knife. So once you've got your SIM to roughly the size you're going to need, when I say roughly, it might need tweaking. The last one did. You just want to cut off the corner, the correct corner. If you have a look at your SIM card first, it's easy to find out. And then you want to take your iPhone, get a paper clip, and just push it into the drawer. The drawer comes out, and your SIM card should fit straight in. I say should because the measurement has got to be quite accurate, so I don't want to go too small. I would rather cut it a little bit smaller afterwards. This is a little bit tight at the moment. There's one of the edges needs trimming, and I think the main corner needs a bigger wedge cutting off, and all the rest of them could do with a little snip as well, because the corners aren't actually sharp in the drawer, they're slightly rounded. So as you can see, it's got the edges just sticking out a little bit. also the drawer where it fits in has got 1.5 mm. So the contact is not actually being viewed properly. So I don't know what I was looking at earlier when I thought it was central. But it still should work as long as all contact is viewed. I mean, I've still got an edge to cut off it, so I'll cut off on the other edge, so it's more central. So basically, when your contact is looking through that window of that SIM card drawer, you want it all to be visible, and that's it basically. As long as it's in there and visible, the phone will read it. So this is getting a bit better now. All I need to do now is just trim off one of the edges by about 1/4 mm. Yeah, about 1/4 mm. So I'm just going to make this corner a little bit bigger as well. Just make sure I've got that bit right. Yeah, that's right. Just needs that edge now, making it a little bit smaller. So I'm just seeing how much I need to actually cut off. Because you want it to be snug. You don't want it to be too tight, and you don't want it to be too loose. You want it to be just right. And I think this is the only way you can do it is with a craft knife. Scissors, you just won't get that with scissors. So I'm just going to cut off this edge because I need the other edge to be as big as possible. I probably really should have looked at the drawer again before I cut it up, but I think if I just take a slither off this edge, it'll fit nicely and it should read fine. Well, it's a bit difficult to do it over the camera. I'll just move it a little bit further up and then I should be able to do it. So I just need to take off about 1/4 mm, and you try and take 1/4 mm off with scissors, you'll struggle. There we go. So because it's only a fine edge, this should cut straight through. There we go. Now that should just fit in fine, as it does. It clicks in just perfectly. I don't think I could get a better fit if I tried. And there's not been any twisting to the plastic. I've not touched the metal with any metal edges, so there should be no problems with the SIM card at all. It should just slide straight in, clicks in place, and now I should have a phone that works. Well, it's recognised the SIM card because the last one didn't even get this far. So I just need to now sort out my phone. As you can see, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. Okay, so that's it. Basically, you just get your normal size SIM card. Have a look at your drawer first. That goes into the little SIM holder. Make sure that there's if there's a leading edge, see how big it is, and get that metal contact area as central as possible. So thank you for watching. You can make your micro SIM out of any SIM card.